Hello, Magic lovers. Grab yourself a fresh deck of bikes and let's get into this today. We are going to be going over the double lift and a couple different variations that I like. All right, get a fresh deck of bikes because one of the things that we're going to be going over today is the push-off double lift. And preferably you have a brand new deck of cards to work with. Okay. So the push-off, what is the push-off? So I'm sure if you're anything like me, the first actual double lift that you learned might have looked something like this, right? Which is pretty horrible. At least I think it's horrible. It looks bad. Maybe I didn't do it so bad there, but I'm guessing you get the point. So today we're going to be going over my favorite variation of the double lift and a couple of different variations as well. Let's start off with the one that I most commonly use, which is the push-off double lift, which is this here. Now, this push-off double lift looks like it's a single card when done correctly, right? It looks pretty good, but it's actually a double. So let's go over how that works and let's take a look here. So we're going to start off by having preferably a brand new deck of cards, right? Something that is in good condition so that air cushion finish can grab these cards together fairly well once they're pressed down together. And what we need to do here is we need to get the deck at a slight slant. So what I'm going to do is get in that position by pushing my thumb here towards the top, and I'll show you here what it looks like. See how we have that edge here sort of pushed to the side. It's sort of like a zigzag shape, and once we have that thumb imprint there, so to speak, we then need to get the corner here. You see that corner where the nail is and the skin kind of meet? That's the corner we're going to be pressing down here. And once you start to press down there, you can see that we're pushing off two cards. And one of the things that I find the most important here is once you push off those cards, you push them off about halfway. Come in here, you grab, you swoop, push till it hits the end of the fingers here, and then you drop, okay? So you'll be doing the same thing again here, pushing off, and to see how it's pushing off three cards, that's okay. It actually makes it look more convincing that you're actually not grabbing that second card. Boom. Okay. Or not second card, actually third card, but they would perceive it as being the second card. And I'm going to give you another little subtlety that I learned that I find to be kind of convincing and good if you're actually doing this double lift for multiple spectators, which is as you start to push off the card, right? You're pushing off two cards. I don't know if you can see that there, but that's actually two cards. And we're pushing that off. And it's sort of the corner sort of getting into the meat of the hand here. And you're using that to kind of keep everything together in line. And as you come to grab here, right, you push forward here and just drop the cards a little bit forward here, leaving a little bit of space, so that you can grab with the finger here, align everything, and kind of push up here. This is a nice little subtlety. Because then you can grab the cards, show the spectator, lift everything up, and this separates everything from the deck and it makes it appear as if it's one card. This is another slight little subtlety. And if you kind of just bow it in here, you can really get that crisp one card look. Especially for people that do not know what the double lift is, that's going to lock it in place for them, and that is one single card, right? And also another little subtlety is when you do that, you are kind of slightly bending those cards. So if you have to then go back into another double lift, those cards are now bent and they're together. They are one piece in terms of the rest of the cards, right? So for example here, if I'm just dropping that in, it's just going to stick together a lot easier. I can even come in here and probably pick up both of those cards way easier. So that's the little subtlety here. Again, we're going to be pushing with the skin where the nail meets the thumb right here in this location. Right here. Matter of fact, let's just take the card here and point to the exact location right there. I'm going to use that point here to push down. Now, if you're using Bicycle, the best playing cards, you're going to be pushing directly under the angel here, right? Towards the edge. Push here towards the edge, and you're going to push outward, right? And you can kind of push this meat in here into the card, and it kind of helps keep everything together. And you can push downward if you need to. I've kind of adapted this subtle just push outward motion, right? And lift this up, okay? So let's check that out one more time. And we're gonna be pushing out here, push out, there's the double, turn it over, drop it here, grab it up. And that is the push off. So once more, let's try that again. And I'm gonna do this really slow so everyone can kind of take it in and practice with me at the same time. Push in with that nail and skin part. You'll be able to see from your point of view and see how sometimes you'll get 3 cards. If you look closely, that's 3 cards, which is actually a nice little subtlety, because once you push this all the way out, it looks like you're just grabbing that 1, right? And another little thing, or I should say little tip here, is when you do grab those 2 cards and you push them out here, if anything separates, you're gonna come here and you're squaring everything up with that finger here, and everything holds it in here on the side. That's another little subtlety. And lifting it off of the deck and separating it is another thing that really helps sell the fact that this is 1 card, even though it's 2, right? Sometimes there will be cases where you will need to drop everything flush in certain tricks, right? So let's say I'm doing it here and I just drop it all flush. From right there, it's okay. Look how loose I am with this, right? It's okay. Nobody's going to see that. And I've just flashed there a little bit in the corner, but for the most part, I mean, you're not going to be walking around doing this, right? But for the most part, it's going to be very, like, if I'm just holding it here in my hand, nobody's going to see it's a double. Then you can just do the push off once more, right? Being careful not to separate those 2 cards, and drop it over here. And now you're set up to do whatever it is that you need to do with your double lift. All right, let's talk about the pinky count. This is something that also took me a long time. I neglected to mention last time the push off took me about a good year of practice to get down. And the pinky count itself also took me a strange amount of time because it takes a little bit of muscle memory here as you go out to angle the deck. Pretty much in the opposite direction of how we're doing the push off, right? The push off would be angled in this direction, and the pinky count is going to be in the opposite direction. What you do is kind of make these little stairs, right? And as you go to push this down, you're going to want to put your index finger in here and your thumb here towards the corner, sort of creating an opposite pressure in the downward motion, right? So pinky count would be 1, 2, just like that. And now I have a small pinky break. At this point, I can just come in, grab that pinky break, move to the middle, and turn over. And you can do the same thing over again if you'd like to. Come in here with the pinky. Remember to put your index finger here, pressure down, and you go count 1, 2. All right, put that pinky in subtly. Come and grab from the middle, swoop to the fingers, turn over. And it's very important that you turn it over naturally, the same exact way that you would turn over a card normally. And this is how I've learned to do it, because consistency is very important when it comes to these types of things. So once again, let's show you the pinky count. You're gonna wanna angle the deck in the opposite way of the push off, creating this kind of like stair pattern here, right? And you're gonna wanna put your finger here towards the middle, your index finger in, give that opposite pressure, push down, right? And we'll go 1, 2, push the finger in slightly, right? And then from here, you can kind of grab here, and don't just grab and flip from here in the middle. That looks really awkward. So as you have that pinky break, you're gonna want to grab from here, grab your 2 cards, slide up to the middle, and turn it over the exact same way you would any other card. Now you can do the same exact thing that I usually normally do with the push off, right? And let me show you what I'm talking about here. As you get your pinky break here, right? 1, watch this, 1, 2, right? As you get your pinky break, you come over here to the middle. You can pull this whole thing forward and kind of just drop it there in the middle and square up. And now you're in the same position that you were before. So once again, it looks something like this in the natural motions of things. You'd have everything kind of squared up. You would angle everything. All right, 1, 2. Right, there's 2 cards coming with the break. Slide it up here. Boom. That's it. You're in position. Okay. Now, a get ready. A get ready can be worth a lot also. A get ready is very valuable in the fact that in the course of conversation, let's say, you don't have to worry about performing the double lift, for example. You don't never want to perform these things. These are things that are happening subtly in the background. When you try to perform them, you're inviting people to catch you out on what you're doing. So one of the things you can do is subtly push over 2 cards, right? Just in the course of conversation, whatever, push over 2 cards. You can use this to kind of square everything up. Square up those 2 cards, get your pinky break. And remember, your pinky break does not have to be very large. But just in that, I have set up a double lift with a pinky break in kind of the same fashion as the push off or as the pinky count. So just subtly, and you don't have to be very good at the push off. You can kind of just push off 2 cards normally, square up with a pinky break here in the back. And you can kind of tidy that up by putting your finger in here, pressing down here, and that kind of makes everything look tight from the front of the deck. And at this point here, you can just come in, get your double, keep everything square, right? And then go on with your trick. And of course, that's it. That's the move. So I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial for the double lift. And see you in the next one.
Magic lovers, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.